Welcome to Comically Comics, your one-stop listen to all things comics. We're talking books, movies, TV shows, video games, and more. I must forewarn you, though, we are a spoiler cast, and what that means is we consider all properties, past, future, and present, to be valid, and we will spoil the hell out of them. I'm your host, Michael, along with my two co-hosts, Richard and Jeremy, and with all that being said, let's get started. All right, it is Sunday, March 23rd, and we're all back. Richard may be at 50% or less, but we're still all here, so that's good.
Yes.
Episodes 3 and 4 of Daredevil tonight. Let's start off things with episode 3, The Hollow of His Hand. The case and verdict for the state versus Hector Ayala is decided. Jeremy, what is your whelming of this episode?
I am pleasantly whelmed. I feel like I'm going to be through that for the most part through this series. I've been enjoying it. I like seeing, it's like we talked about for the first two episodes. I like seeing this side of Matt because I didn't watch all the series seasons of the original Daredevil one on Netflix. So I've been enjoying this and kind of seeing his other side, his other life, I guess. But yeah, it's been enjoying it so far. So pleasantly whelmed.
Nice. Richard, what is your whelming of this?
Much like Penguin, I'm just sort of overly whelmed. Like, I'm still riding the high. Like, I think this is the best episode so far. The way they end this fucking episode was just jaw-dropping to me.
Yeah.
And being that there is no Daredevil yet is kind of like a downer, but like, god damn, is this like high? Like, they are trying to be like high drama.
Yeah.
They are trying to be prestige television. And I've been like going on like Daredevil subreddit and Marvel subreddit, and some people are like, this fucking sucks. I don't care about Vanessa and Kingpin and all this stuff. And I'm like, what do you like? Wow, I must be seeing something different because I'm like, this shit is so good to me. But yeah, anyway, I'm overly whelmed.
So, I'm conflicted. I know that's not one of our whelmings, but I'm conflicted.
You're conflictedly whelmed?
I'm conflictedly whelmed, yes. Because, like, if I take the entire episode, including the ending, I'm like high-end pleasantly whelmed. Because, like you said, the ending is just, the shock factor of that is just like, fuck. But then if I take the rest of the episode and I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't know that I necessarily would normally watch something like this. And so, like, is that good because Daredevil's kind of like broadening my horizon a little bit? Or is that like bad on the other hand, where it's like if this wasn't Daredevil, would I really be watching this right now? And I don't know that I would, kind of thing. And so I don't think it's bad TV. I think it's like one of those, like, you have to be one of those Law and Order, I feel like, types to kind of enjoy it. And I don't know that I'm one of those people. So the courtroom stuff was okay. I like the surprises, the twists that they put in this. That does keep it interesting for me. I'm going to stick with pleasantly whelmed, but I just, and then as we go into episode 4, it's like even more so of what I'm talking about.
The Law and Order thing, I was telling my wife, who hadn't watched these last 2 episodes yet, and I was like, it seems like by the 3rd episode, they are trying to do a procedural drama with Daredevil featured in it, which I dig. Like, I was never big on Law and Order, but I have watched like other like procedural drama movies and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm digging it so far, but yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, it's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
I just think you have to be into that kind of stuff. And I don't know that I'm not that. I don't think I'm that audience.
Yeah.
And then the stuff with like Vanessa and Fisk, I think they're building something there that I'll refer more to as we get into episode 4, because I feel like that kind of pushes more of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, same. I think maybe you and I may have the same idea, but anyway.
We'll see.
We will see.
Let's go ahead and talk about this ending, though, because by God, Hector Ayala gets free, proven innocent by a court of his peers, jury of his peers, apologies, and goes out on patrol as the White Tiger. I don't know if he took a night off to celebrate. I don't know if it was the same night. I don't know what it was. But first of all, me and my wife kind of questioned each other. We're like, he's just walking down the street like that. Like, I kind of wish we'd have seen him like across the rooftops or something, like Daredevil style, going across the rooftop. That would have been really cool. Mm-hmm. But no, he's just walking the streets in this outfit, which kind of looks like he's going to a cosplay convention or something, and gets freaking capped going down an alley. Just pow, and done.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, what was the shock factor for y'all on that?
It was definitely high for me. Like, because I definitely was not expecting that at all. Because I know we had talked about that he unfortunately the actor has passed away. So, there'd have to be some kind of transition there. And, y'all had already talked about like his niece. Was it niece?
Yeah.
And coming in there. So you had to know something was possibly going to be happening. But at the same time, like, I wouldn't have mind seeing him do a little bit before he left. And I did not expect, hey, you're clear. Oh, you're done. Like, I mean, that sucked. And like the one that got me too was the playing the oceans and that
frogs
noise.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man.
That's what I was gonna say. The gunshots, the fade to black with silence, and then slowly coming in with the ocean and the I forget what they're called, but the tree frogs whistling. I was just like, fuck me. Like, I rewatched the episode today just to remind myself, and like Matt promised him, he's like, when he tells him about the whole like tree frog story, Matt's like, well, you're gonna see that beach one day, I promise, kind of thing. And it's just it's so fucking heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was totally shocked by that. I did not at all expect the episode to end that way. Like maybe a fight, maybe like a scuffle or something. Somebody pulls a gun and it goes to black and you hear a gunshot, but you don't see anything, kind of like something like that. I mean, that would have been kind of Walking Dead-ish, but still, like I could see them doing something like that, not just straight up gun down, freaking on the ground.
Yeah.
So as the murderer is walking away, they focus in on the front, and you get the Punisher logo on this guy's vest. Were y'all thinking it was Frank, or were y'all thinking it was a cop because of the whole deal? Like, what's y'all's thoughts there?
Option C on that.
Which one's that?
Neither. Okay. Like, I thought it was like I was like, I don't think that was Frank, and I didn't really think it was a cop. I just thought it was like maybe. I was like, it maybe either Punisher, like an impersonator or whatever.
Yeah. I want to be
something along those lines. Yeah, like something along those lines of just one that's kind of out there doing whatever. And I didn't think he necessarily had any correlation with actual Punisher.
It was Bushwhacker.
Who?
That's a Punisher villain. He's got like guns for arms. He's stupid.
Oh man, I just forgot about it. I forgot his name, but I was gonna say Winter Soldier, and I was gonna do his thing, and all I could think of is again.
Armed and Dangerous.
There you go, Armed and Dangerous. Yeah. But so yeah, that was my thing. I didn't really think it was necessarily either one of them, but just obviously some kind of little bit of correlation somewhere in there. But
can I say no comment? Because like I kind of know, like this has already been spoiled for me for the leaks and stuff. So, but do I think it's the Punisher? No, I'll say that. Especially because what we see in the next episode,
right? In episode 4, yeah.
Had that not gotten spoiled for me, I think I would have loved that moment even more because I'd have been like, "What? Holy shit!"
So, do you have that whole scene spoiled for you, or like who's behind it?
There's some on-set photos of who that person is. I'll say that that I've seen while this movie was while the show was being filmed.
Okay. So you didn't necessarily know that was good, like that particular scene was going to happen.
I didn't know White. Well, I had heard that White Tiger was going to be in all 6 episodes, or I don't know how many episodes of Daredevil Born Again, but I guess with the reshooting, they just took him out in this 3rd episode, which kind of sucks.
Well, maybe it's White Tigress.
White Tigress.
I feel like the case of State versus Hector Ayala was going to be the first half.
Yeah.
Originally. Like, I feel like this was going to be a really long, drawn out court case.
Yeah, I do too. I think they were trying to do like Law and Order does the little dun dun with the dates to show you that like time has passed. But
yeah,
in real life, like what you see on CSI and stuff, it doesn't happen in like one fucking day. It happens over months, possibly years kind of thing. Yeah. So I'm with you. I think this was supposed to be stretched out for like the whole season kind of thing.
Yeah. Cause they cleared it up pretty quick, even with Matt's eyewitness turning on him on stage.
Yeah.
I was, as that scene was building up, I was kind of anticipating him like turning. But what was y'all's thoughts on that?
Yeah, I didn't necessarily see him turning until they started playing. I mean, obviously, they really kind of led you on whenever they started like overemphasizing the murmurs and the whispers and stuff like that. So obviously, at that point, you're like, "Oh crap! Like, what's about to happen?" type thing. And yeah, that sucked. Him just screwing it up for him there.
That was the same for me as I was thinking, with there was the music, the murmurs, all that jazz. I was like, dude, he's either going to turn or one of them's going to stand up and just jack him right there in the courtroom. Like, the way this show seems to be going, that I was anticipating somebody possibly killing him, shooting him or whatever right there.
Yeah, I didn't think, like, matter of fact, my note was like, Torres is a coward. Like, that's literally my note. I wrote like the old switcheroo because I thought that was a cool scene where they're like trying to get him from the safe house to the courtroom, and then they did the cool like little switcheroo thing. I thought that was a clever little scene.
Yes,
which again kind of adds to my like enjoyment of the show, being that it's not Daredevil yet. Like we don't have him fighting people, but it's still interesting. I dig all that. But yeah, I was not expecting it. And I was just like, you bitch.
I was watching a YouTuber that I really enjoy. His name is Nate, and he does the channel Haul Yeah Comics. And as they were taking some of the witnesses and the people they'd put on the stand, one of the ones is the cop that Matt beat up.
Yeah. Powell.
Nate has what is his name?
Powell. Is like Officer Powell.
Yeah. Nate has a theory that Officer Powell is a like Easter egg for Darkhawk, because apparently Darkhawk's dad was like a jerk cop with the name Powell. And I was like, what? Like, could this really be a thing?
Is that the Guardians of the Galaxy Darkhawk? Wasn't that Sly Stallone's character in Guardians of the Galaxy?
I don't think he was dark. Was he dark? I don't know. I don't think Sly was Darkhawk.
Who was he in? Yeah, his name's Christopher Powell. I don't know. I don't have.
We have to look that up then. I need to do more research on this. It was just something funny. We're talking about the stand people, so it got me in a tangent thinking about that. So.
Well, since you brought it up, one of the things, they don't actually do this in real court, but like when they're reading off the reports to the accounts of White Tiger and stuff, they would actually bring people onto the stand to give their eyewitness account of White Tiger. But there was a huge name drop that you reminded me in that scene where they mention Officer Morales. Now I know
Yes.
I know Morales is like
Ah.
the Smith of like Puerto Rican names, but still to name drop that in the Marvel universe, I'm like, that is probably like the Morales kind of thing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. That would be
That'd
cool.
be cool.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
And I love if he looked like the cartoon version from the Spider-Verse movies.
Yeah.
Like that would be even. I would love that.
Just full
Absolutely.
on cartoon. Like it doesn't even look like a real person. He's just,
Oh yeah, like having the Simpsons in real life.
yeah, or like
Absolutely,
Roger
yes.
Rabbit or something.
Yes. Oh man. Another big drop was Matt. He goes up to bat for Hector and is like, look, we can't be using his secret identity and stuff like that in this court case. Like, this needs to be taken off the books. Pleads this whole case as to why the secret identity needs to stay a secret.
Yeah.
And then what does he do? He freaking like uses it straight up, pulls the mask out in court, everything. It's like, what? I don't know. I thought it was ballsy. I liked it. I really liked it a lot.
Yeah, it was. Like I wrote a note where Hector's like, you should have asked me. I was like, yeah, Matt should have asked him.
Yes.
But yeah, it reminded me of like kind of Civil War, like the comic Civil War of like revealing like a superhero's identity to like the public kind of thing. I don't know. That didn't happen in Civil War. I mean, it did, but like not in court like that.
Right. Yeah.
And it just invoked that same kind of feeling from the comics.
I got you. What do you think, Jeremy?
Oh no, I thought it was really cool too that he did that. I definitely didn't see that coming, but it was a nice just throwing it all out the window and just try and see what you can make of it. So I thought it was really, really cool.
I think it was definitely a smart way of writing it because I was like, you don't have the witness. They're like, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
like,
yeah.
There's like, what do you do at that point in time? So I love that. I thought that was really good writing.
Yeah, same. Back on Officer Powell, man, he's the son of a bitch. When he goes into that bathroom and like I wrote down, I don't know what this cop is thinking. A blind man beat his ass. And on top of that, he's a lawyer and he wants to like shake down Matt. Like, I'm just like, that's not going to work. And I love the jab that he gets at him in court when he's like, oh, I hear that you have a black eye. You know, my father used to say the cure for a black eye is fast hands.
Yeah. So I'm glad you reminded me of Powell because we talked about this after podcast last Sunday. How was that motherfucker not in traction?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, let's be real. Like, how is he up walking around?
Yeah. How is he
speaking,
breathing?
Within just a few days.
Yeah.
Or that like probably not even that.
At the very least, he should have been in like a neck brace.
Something.
Yeah.
Something. Instead of just being like, he saw the chiropractor and his name was Mr. Murdoch.
Yeah.
No. Oh, man. Those are all my notes for this episode. What else do y'all got?
I have just a few. One of them was I was wondering what's up with Fisk's bloodied knuckles because they keep showing that, but we get the answer to that in the next episode. The other thing, I love the line with Buck, and he's talking to the different like mob people, and he's like, "I don't work for the mayor, I work for the man." I just thought that was a cool line. And then I wrote, "Real heroes don't need to hide." Do you get it, Coral? Do you get it, Matt? Do you get it? Real heroes don't need to hide. I love if you'll notice the show does whenever there's these pivotal moments for Matt, that's like moments that are weighing on his like soul of like becoming Daredevil again. They play the new theme music of that like and they do it there in that scene. It's just very subtly, and then they do it more obvious when he's just like sitting in court playing with the horn thing.
Yeah,
I just think that's really cool.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's it.
Cool. Jeremy?
No, yeah, that's all I had.
All right, go on to episode 4, Sic Semper Systema. This is another court. We get a whole new court case now. and it's the very start of it. We get more information, it seems like, with Wilson Fisk and Vanessa in this episode as well. Some things that are going on, some things that have happened. We get more of Fisk as mayor and the kind of bullshit that he has to deal with, honestly. Yeah. So, Jerry, what was your whelming on this episode here?
I'm still pleasantly whelmed. I mean, I'm getting like right there at overly whelmed. I really enjoy watching this show, so I probably should just go ahead and bump up to overly whelmed. Just because, like, it's one of those, like, I'm ready to see the next episode. Like, I want to see what's happening. I'm ready to get there. So I just, I really enjoyed this one. I like seeing Vanessa's and Wilson's journey through there a little bit, and they were just, and I love watching. Oh crud! What's his name that plays Wilson Fisk?
Oh, Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah.
Like he does such a good job of just acting whenever he's just, you can feel like he's just on the edge.
Yeah, he's
like
twitching.
Fisk is like he's just getting there, like about ready to pop, and so I just think that that's great that you can just feel it from him too, and then of course Matt, that whole scene there. The one thing is, like, in this one is the guy at the end, he's got to get some red eyes like solution or something there. Like, allergies got him bad.
Come on, Muse.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, guy at the end.
Oh shit. Richard, what is your?
I don't know how to follow that, honestly. I'm like, this is gonna be boring asking me for these the whelmings. I'm overly whelmed. It's really hard for me to decide whether I like this episode more than the last one, but I think I'm gonna stick to my guns and say this is the second best episode so far. That ending with the tree frogs of the last episode just kind of sent me over the top.
Yeah.
This one is just so, like, the scene with Frank and Matt. I said that I love when Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio are on screen, but my God, do I love when John Bernthal and Charlie Cox are on screen as well. Like, fuck, they are such amazing actors, and I love it. I dig it so much.
Yeah. I don't know what's wrong with me then, because I'm just whelmed.
Wow.
I mean, I'm getting to a point where, like, I need, like, I know they showed us cows briefly. Like, there's this, towards this ending, there's like kind of a montage or whatever where, like, there's just back and forth between, like, Matt after his meeting with John, not John, but Frank, contemplating, it seems like, going back to being the devil, and then Fisk as well, going from, like, mayor up high and all this other kind of stuff, being righteous, to really, like, his deep dark secret that he's hiding down in the basement. And I think the way this TV show is done is really well. I think the writing is done this really well. I think the story they're building is really well. I just don't think this procedural stuff is for me. I think that's what it boils down to. So I can appreciate it for what it is. I'm excited about, Daredevil. I want to see more of it. I just don't think that I don't think the genre is for me, is what it boils down to. So, because I love, like you were talking about, like, when you get John Bernthal and Charlie Cox on screen, like, they have, like, the way they're wrote and stuff like that, they do a really good job with what's wrote there. You know what I mean? Like, John Bernthal, come on, Red. Yeah. Come on. Like, I love it. I love that.
Yeah,
like, that's my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah, I like him calling him Red. And then the only thing I had beef with was, I'm trying to remember his phrase. I meant to look this up, but because I'm sick, I didn't care to. But there was a saying that he said as Punisher. It was like 1, 2, penny and dime or something like that. What was it? How did it go? Do you remember, Michael? I can't remember how it went.
This is news to me. I need to go look this up now, though. He's got a phrase?
Yeah, it's a phrase that it's not from the comics. It's from the show specifically.
Oh, okay.
And it's something that his son would say.
Yeah.
And he would say it, like, as he was, like, killing people. And I thought he should have said that in this episode when he was like, oh, my every time my every time I do what I do, I hear my son's voice saying, "Get him, Dad," or something like that.
Yeah.
I think he should have said that line instead.
Mm.
But other than that, man, when he comes at Matt with that fucking hatchet, I wrote on here, I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, Frank. Like, calm the fuck down.
No, he lives on the edge.
Yeah. Clearly.
Constant paranoid.
Yeah. I love the little bits of storytelling without actually, like, they're doing a great of like show not tell. And when Frank's talking, I forget, he says some line, but he like he does his hands gesturing like behind him kind of thing. And you just see a mural of like all these people that Frank has like killed. This person is connected to this person. They've got like a red X through their like picture. And like this person is connected to that person with a red X. So I was just like, okay, that's cool. Like world building of like the Punisher's still been doing Punisher shit while like everything, we just haven't seen it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm glad they got John Bernthal back to take up that role of the Punisher again. I think he did a great job. I'm super excited to see what he does this go around as well. I feel like he was able to go somewhere with Matt that nobody else really could.
Oh, yeah.
With the whole Foggy thing.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
absolutely.
Where he's like, say his name.
Yeah.
Say his name. Come on, Red. Say his name.
Mhm.
Say his name, Red. Come on. And like, I feel like nobody else could have done that and at least been able to talk afterwards.
Yeah.
But then again, that police officer was able to talk too. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But
I just love, like, I'm with you. And he's like, and antagonizing Matt and wanting him to say Foggy's name. And then he punches him. And then, he's like, he apologizes. And then Frank's like, you don't have to or whatever. And he's like, you're just looking. There's another line where he mentions about how, like, you're just wanting an excuse. You're just asking me for permission. Should I, like, become Daredevil again kind of stuff. I love, like, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but like the juxtaposition of the two characters, because they are like Frank and Matt are kind of the same character, at least in the show. Like they're kind of the same character, but Matt just kind of lies to himself of like, I won't go that far. But like, he basically did with Bullseye. He didn't think Bullseye would fucking survive that, probably.
Right. I would say Matt as a core character or whatever, like he never wants to go that far. Like he never wants that. And that's the whole point of this TV show is like him saying, I've went too far. I understand I went too far and I can't do this. I can't put myself in that position again. Yeah. Whereas like Punisher has no rule. Like it's at least as far as, offing somebody like that's, he doesn't have a problem with that.
Well, it's like that amazing scene in the second season of Daredevil where he talks about like you hit. I forget what he's how the line goes, but he's like, you hit them red and they get back up. I hit them and they stay down, kind of thing. It's cool. I hope we get to see more of Bernthal in the coming Daredevil seasons.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I hope so as well. Whenever Frank was pushing Matt and basically saying like that Bullseye lived and that he got, and whenever Matt was like, well, he got life. And he's like, well, does Foggy have a life? Like, I mean, like you trust so much in this system, but it's, it's a twisted system. It's never just straightforward.
Yeah. Well, also like, Punisher too is again, I like how it seems like the theme, because Punisher even says it in this episode where he's like, I don't use that pussy ass word or whatever, but it's the victim. I think with Matt we see Leroy, who is a victim of the system, and then we see Frank, who also in my opinion is a victim of a broken system. Like I'm trying to remember his origin story for the Netflix series, but if these corrupt mob cops, cops that were working for the mob hadn't sold Frank's family out, he wouldn't be in the position that he's at. So I think there's this theming going on with that episode about like victims kind of stuff. Yeah. Victims of the system.
Yeah. Yeah, Leroy was an interesting case. I mean, guy gets, busted for having stolen fiddle faddle. And
I just wrote fiddle faddle. They couldn't come up with a better serial name. Fiddle faddle.
oh no, yeah, you gotta have the fiddle faddle.
Oh, and that was the other thing that was annoying me through that too. Caramel
Oh,
corn. Like, stop it.
So what is it?
It's caramel.
Caramel?
Caramel?
No.
Caramel?
Caramel corn.
It's caramel corn.
Caramel?
Caramel. Do you say oil as well instead of oil?
I don't know. I'm not gonna say it right, like how I naturally would at this point.
You call it a cabinet instead of cabinet?
A cabinet? No, I say cabinet.
It's caramel.
No, okay.
Anyways, I thought it was odd, the whole, taking a case. This just seems like a really odd case for, them to get Matt to do as a favor. I don't kind of understand that aspect of it other than to tell the story. But I'm not going to lie, freaking Lemur makes a really good case of like, I'm down on my luck. I've had this, I've had that, I've had all this stuff kind of happen. And, they're trying to pin me on a charge when it's cheaper just to fucking feed me than it is to put me in jail. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, absolutely. I loved it because, like, it's something we don't see with Matt, because Matt has this superpower hearing. So he usually picks, like, people to defend that are innocent, that he knows are not, like, he usually asks them and like he can tell if they're lying or not. So this guy is in fact guilty, but he's also like again, what I said with the theming, he's the victim of the system.
Right.
So I think it's an interesting thing that we haven't seen Matt do, where he has to like work for this guy, but knowing that he is in fact like a criminal. I use that word loosely, but
yeah,
I just thought that was interesting. And then him explaining like what you just all said about how, like, I was locked away for like 7 days or whatever, and I couldn't get my like SSI or something like that. And
right.
Anyway, it was very heartbroken. And then, Matt, when he goes home, he talks with his girlfriend and he's like, and a guy's going to be spending Rikers and for stealing like fiddle faddle. Like,
yeah. To go along with that, I mean, the name of the episode is, Semper Systema.
Yeah.
I would say you're on the nail, hitting the nail on the head with that. We're talking about characters in here, and I don't know that we've properly been introduced to this character. I don't know if it's a first appearance. Y'all help me out with that either way, because I don't think I've, actually done a first appearance for this character yet. So congratulations, Jeremy. You'll get another one.
Yay.
Angela Del Toro. So Hector's niece. Talked about her a second ago. Have we seen her yet in this series? I didn't think we'd actually properly seen her.
She was in the court scene.
Was she? Okay.
In the previous episode, when Hector is explaining why he got flowers, and he's like, "Oh, I put a down payment on a place, and it's going to be ours," kind of thing. It cuts to a woman and a little girl, and that's her.
Okay. See, I was under the assumption that was his daughter for some reason.
Yeah. No, it's his niece.
Sadly off, apparently. Now that we're properly introduced to her and we actually know her name, first appearance is Daredevil number 58 from 2005. Del Toro would be the one that becomes the fourth White Tiger. So Hector is the first, Del Toro is the fourth. And Ava Ayala is at some point a White Tiger as well. But we haven't seen her in this season, or we may never see her. I don't know. They may just go with Del Toro. Regardless, I thought it was cool. Nice little Easter egg there for people who may not know, that this may be where the amulet goes, since we did see it.
Yeah.
And I would think that these would get returned to the Ayala or Del Toro family at some point in time.
I'm sure they'll do some spinoff to tie her into the Young Avengers or something.
No. I don't think so. I think that would be kept for evidence, but she could easily like break in and grab it or something. Not easily, but
yeah,
you could hand wavily explain that she paid someone to steal it out of evidence, kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of crooked cops in this, so.
Oh, absolutely.
I will say I've been waiting for something like, y'all talking about Jeremy anyway was talking about the Young Avengers champion, stuff like that. There was a Spider-Man cartoon that was on like Disney XD or something like here not long ago. It had I believe it had Luke Cage on there, Nova, if I remember right. And then it had a white tiger on there. And I can't remember if it was Ayala or if it was Del Toro, but it was a female white tiger. And so I'm like, we were talking on last podcast about, cartoons and how kids will grow up with these things. And then it's like, oh, I remember that character from when, da, 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 da. And I was like, you know what? I've been waiting. I've been waiting for that because like it's a Spider-Man cartoon. I figure a lot of people watched it. And so being exposed to that version of white tigers, surely that's probably where they're headed. You know what I mean? Even though Angela does look really young. So I kind of wonder, like, will they do a Young Avengers or Champions with that? I don't know.
Please no.
Wouldn't put it past them.
No, definitely wouldn't put it past them. Definitely. So, Fisk.
Maybe they'll have, like... I mean, you could have She-Hulk come in there with a court scene. I'll be battling it out again with old Matt in there and everything.
That would make for some drama because, him and She-Hulk knock some boots.
Yeah.
Well,
did the walk of shame.
The Sophia Azola, the girl that Matt was like risen on, like I was just like,
yeah.
I like seeing that because Matt is a playboy, like he is a ladies' man kind of thing in the comics, and I don't know, I like seeing him like he's like flirting with her essentially to like get some stuff done.
Yeah.
Anyway, it just made me think of that. So yeah, I could easily see She-Hulk coming back and being like, "Hey, what's going on?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm kind of seeing somebody."
Yeah.
That's funny. Fisk is learning, I think, how much he hates being a red tape mayor.
Oh yeah.
With the children's choirs that he has to go to.
I'm sorry. I love the him. That was such a comedic scene with him sitting in that tiny little chair. And they're singing "We Built the City," and like his hand is just twitching, like he's just like ready to fucking snap. And then he finally, when they're done, he's like, "Okay." And they're like, "Oh wait, but we have this other." He's like, "No, I have to go. The city never sleeps."
He walks right into another "We Built This City," but in a different language.
Yep.
Why is that his theme song?
I have no idea.
I need to know. I need to know the story as to why this is his theme song. And then he wants to go and do this revitalization of a port, but he can't because, of all the red tape.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like a lot of this TV show is about how fucked up a lot of things are in like legal and governmental and stuff like, you know what I mean? Like establishments.
Yeah, maybe.
Talking about the crooked cops, all the red tape that you have to do to be able to get something going.
Yeah.
The system itself, as far as like, Matt and his person that he's taking care of, and Victor Ayala and not Hector. I don't know why I keep calling him Victor, but Hector Ayala and his situation, like just all the corruption to this, to that. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I think Fisk is eventually just going to say, "Fuck it, we're doing it regardless." And
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I got a feeling, I can't think of the actor that she plays, but that like assistant to him, the
Sheila.
Yeah, is that her name? I can't remember. The one who was all like, I was here before Fisk and I'll be here after.
Yeah.
I got a feeling she's gonna like, I don't know, take a long walk off a short pier kind of thing. Like Fisk is gonna absolutely get rid of her eventually.
Yeah, I thought Daniel was up for that.
No, I kind of what happened in this episode is what I was saying is like, I think Fisk loves his little minion, his little loyalty guy.
Yeah. Well, I it seemed like he was getting ready for something different, and before Daniel started his whole speech thing.
Right.
There.
Yeah. Which I love when he said something about like, we were at a bar, we were drinking, and full disclosure, I was doing some ketamine. I love Fisk is like, you should probably stop. Like, I just thought that was funny.
Yeah. Because there was even a moment, too, when Sheila was like, Fisk had said he wasn't going to fire him. And then he started saying something, and she was like, Daniel.
Yeah, exactly.
Just shut up.
He's like, are you trying to argue out of a job right now?
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask is how long do y'all think Daniel has? Realistically, I think Fisk is really serious on the second chance. Like, basically, you fuck up again, like it will be your last fuck up.
Yeah.
I don't think Fisk is playing with that. I don't think he can talk his way out of another one of those. So do we really think I'm with you on, would you say her name was Sheila?
Yeah.
I do think Sheila is not going to make it throughout this season.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I feel like Daniel is going to go the way of Penguin's little helper.
Yeah, maybe.
By the end of the season as well.
I could... Yeah. I'll be honest with you, I could see that going that way as well. But part of me's like, I could see him killing Sheila, or like Daniel kills Sheila, and then like that puts him in favor with Fisk kind of thing. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like very like dramatic, heavy kind of like scenes or something, and I could easily see one of those things happening.
Yeah,
I know that's like a nothing answer, but
yeah. It kind of makes me wonder if he would do anything like showing him the ropes a little bit. Like, how he made to Vanessa, he was talking about him watching his dad and everything like that. It makes me wonder if maybe Daniel might end up in that kind of role, but also at the same time, I think Daniel can be a bit of an idiot. So he may just end up screwing up.
No, he is 100% a numbskull.
Yeah.
You know what Daniel could be, though? In the comic books, Vanessa and Fisk have a son.
Oh, yeah.
And he later becomes a supervillain called the Rose. I could easily see them making Daniel the Rose.
Okay.
Especially the way y'all are talking. Like, if, he takes Daniel under his wing, he likes Daniel, stuff like that. Like, could this be a son kind of thing for Fisk? And then Daniel take up the mantle of the Rose.
Yeah, I could see that. Like a more like it went the way that Fisk wanted to instead of with Echo. She shot him in the face. This guy actually does what Fisk needs and stuff like that. I do have a theory that like I don't know. Part of me is like Vanessa ain't gonna make it past the season or maybe like next season or something like that. Because there's something weird that's going to go down between those two. I just don't know what yet. But so I could see once Vanessa's gone, he brings him on and starts mentoring him again, kind of like Echo.
Yeah, they've definitely been building this power struggle between Vanessa and Wilson. And that's what I was alluding to earlier whenever we're talking, and I wanted to question that. A comment was brought up with the counselor of like, does Vanessa feel safe? And Vanessa said, my husband is, a lot of things, and he can do a lot of things. However, one of the things is he would never hurt me.
Yeah.
And then she questions that. And honestly, I'm with her. Like, do y'all think Vanessa is safe?
I don't know. Like I want to say that she is, because you can see Fisk truly cares about her, but I don't know that he's going to be able to get over. Obviously, he's going to be able to get over this Adam situation. So I think that's going to be a big stickler, and it's going to come to a bloody end, I think.
Being that Vanessa is super into art and that there's a serial killer that is all about making bodies making art out of dead bodies. Part of me wonders, is Muse going to get her? Is Kingpin going to hire Muse to get her, kind of thing? I even had a theory when Vanessa was talking about, before the last part of this episode, when Vanessa was talking about Adam and she was saying like, oh, his hands and all this stuff. I was like, oh shit, is Adam Muse? And then later on in the episode, I was like, well, nope, never mind. That theory went out the window.
Yeah, Kingpin is keeping Adam down in the cellar and having dinner with him. I don't know however many times, but Adam does not seem to enjoy the company at all.
No.
I don't know that I could eat my pasta while somebody yelled at me to let them out. I don't know that I would have that in me.
That is why Kingpin is Kingpin. Again, with the imagery, I just want to mention this real quick.
Yes.
Him walking down the stairs in white light into a dungeon lit with like orange lighting is like almost like an angel falling from heaven kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Also cutting to Matt being bathed in red light, leaving his lawyer life and going up on top of the roof. The juxtaposition there is just so fucking cool. I love that scene. Again, this is why I'm gushing about the show. I don't understand why people are like hating on it. Like, I get it, Daredevil's not in it, but he'll be back. We're gonna get like 2 more seasons. This is really great storytelling. But yeah, no, I also love that we've been seeing Kingpin eating that stupid egg white omelet and 1 asparagus, and then we see him actually indulging himself. So it too is like a juxtaposition with Matt. You know how Matt is like not wanting to become Daredevil, and it keeps like things keep dragging him out. It's like Kingpin, I thought, was truly trying to do good, but now we've learned from this episode that he is just hiding his darker side. He's indulging in his horrible like needs and wants, which is beating the shit out of people and, you know, eating all this food kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I thought that was great storytelling.
You gotta have your cheat meals in there.
Yeah.
But I did also love, like, at the end of this one where they cut. It was a cool cut between Adam yelling "Let me out" and Matt, slinging his whatever at it, and it just cutting right there, like just like it's Daredevil finally like saying "Let me out."
Yeah,
so I'm
exactly.
like, oh, it's about to be something.
Lots of imagery in this. Lots of imagery, and like Richard was saying, lots of good storytelling. So
yeah, and then like that saying, the forgiveness isn't just the highest act of love, it's also the only way forward. I thought that was a great line, and he says it to Adam kind of thing. I don't know. It's cool, man. I dig it.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention this, and I'm so mad that I did. When we were talking about Leroy, there was a specific thing dropped when Leroy was talking. He was like, "It wasn't me, man. It was Skrulls."
Oh yeah, yes.
I love how Matt pauses, and he was like, "Nope,
no." That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I love the way they show Matt's powers. They do this with Spider-Man as well. I forget what kind of zoom it's called, but they do this like weird zoom where the lens, like the certain lens that they use, the background kind of like elongates, and then Matt kind of gets a little bit closer. They do it with Spider-Man in like the Tom Holland Spider-Man when his Spidey sense is going off. And they did it in the first episode with Daredevil Born Again when he's like at the bar listening to like Foggy. They do it in this one when he's like looking for that casing. And I just love the way they do that. It's really cool. It's a really nice like visual storytelling. When Vanessa is talking about her father, I meant to pull this clip. Again, I'm sick, so I didn't. But it reminded me of Dr. Evil in one of the Austin Powers when he was like, "My father would lament, he would womanize, he would fraternize, he would say outrageous things like he invented the question mark." I don't know why, but when Vanessa was talking about her father, it just made me think of that scene.
That's funny.
The last 2 things is just about Muse. Muse is fucking terrifying, and I'm glad to see that he is.
Oh, yes.
And I love that his mask is made of canvas because he is an artist.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
Yeah. I did not. So we get the cameo of Muse in this episode, but not much else. You see a guy and he's carrying him around. He's carrying him for a long time. Like, gee,
Yeah, for real.
Like fucking A. Like, what? You've got to be dedicated to be toting somebody around like that for a long time. But and this wasn't no little guy either. And we see him drawing blood out of him. But I have yet to say what he actually does. For to inform my wife, I'm gonna let her be surprised and see. So I kind of wonder how far old Disney will actually go with this.
I'm actually glad you brought that up because we also got our first F-bomb for a Disney Plus show.
Got an F-bomb and a GD, if I'm not mistaken, with Frank.
Yeah, I don't remember the GD, but I just remember those. I just remember the F-bomb. That for sure is you get one, I think, for I forget. It's for PG-13 movies, but for television, you get one for maybe TVMA. But anyway, I was just like, wow, I didn't think we'd ever see this.
Yep. We're here now. Yes. We are here.
Man, this show to me, I'm like, Riders of Moon Knight, are you watching? Can we please, if we get a second season of Moon Knight, can we please have it be this sort of dark and gritty?
Yes. Yeah, I think if Moon Knight had been the same caliber, that would have been really good.
Yeah.
So I completely agree.
And I need them to mess with Mr. Knight a little bit. I need him to be more of a smart ass and detective type than this comedic relief. I need him to be a little different. I get it. This Disney and Marvel and also the jazz, but we kind of need it to fit the character, not, force the character in a different thing.
Yeah, force it into being a Disney princess kind of
right.
Squeaky clean Disney kind of look. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to do Werewolf by Night, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It needs to be horror. It just needs to be that way. You just can't take a werewolf and just make him into, a prince and stuff like that. This is not Beauty and the Beast.
Agreed.
Cool. Y'all got anything else?
No, that's it for me.
That's all I got.
Awesome. Well, God willing, y'all join us next week. We'll be doing episode 5, seeing where this goes from here. In the meantime, Jeremy, where can they find you at?
They can find me on Twitch under the handle Night Fury GTO. That's Night with a K. And of course, you can find me here.
Nice. Richard?
If you want to contact me directly, I have an X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, and Instagram, a Blue Skies, and a Threads. My handle is Night Curry, night like day and night, and curry with a K. If you want to contact us directly, we have a Gmail. Our Gmail is comicallycomicspodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to check us out on YouTube, possibly TikTok, we'll see, and Instagram, you can check us out under the name Comically Comics Podcast. And if you want to check us out on X, the platform formerly known as Twitter, you can check us out under the name Comically Comics with an X. It's the most half-assed delivery that I could give. I could only muster up that much.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Richard.
No problem.
You can find me on Instagram, eBay, and Shortbox22_comics. You can also find me on YouTube at 22 Comics. Thank you all so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed as much as we did making it. Well, all being said, say goodbye, Jeremy.
Bye, Jeremy.
Goodbye, Jeremy. Goodbye.
My father would womanize, he would drink, he would make outrageous claims like he invented the question mark. Sometimes he would accuse chestnuts of being lazy, the sort of general malaise that only the genius possess and the insane lament.